Simmers, a group of truly diverse individuals with seemingly endless creative potential. Many a Simmer has powered through a buggy, glitchy, and temperamental game because they possess a dedication like no other. I have been thinking about my experience playing The Sims 3 in particular, seeing as it is the one game in the series that I have played the longest, and I have come to a conclusion. I like this game. That seems pretty obvious, but I also like particular things about this game. Like most Simmers, I assume, there are certain traits and playstyles that I have repeated a multitude of times, and there are certain ones that I avoid. Today, I want to set out on a new adventure, a new challenge to tuck under my belt and make me more powerful as a Simmer. You see, if I've counted correctly, The Sims 3 offers 84 lifetime wishes and 99 traits, of which I actually have probably only experienced very little. So I'm challenging myself to complete every lifetime wish in the game. Now there will be rules, very few rules, but rules. 1, I will use a new Sim for every wish, starting as a young adult and creating a new Sim for each wish so I have no unfair advantages. 2, I will do this on normal lifespans. If you know me, I prefer to play with longer lifespans because I get attached to my Sims and the default settings are never long enough for me, but this challenge is not about what I like, so I will play with the settings that the game is originally set to and considers a normal amount of time to complete these wishes. I will allow for extending the lifespans, but only through normal endgame means like ambrosia or potions. And the last rule is simple: random. I will randomly pick everything I reasonably can throughout the challenge, just to keep it fresh. This means the lifetime wish to complete for the Sim, random, and the traits of the Sim, also random. Now I understand that there are certain traits that can make certain lifetime wishes easier, but easy is not the point. The challenge is. So we are taking whatever traits we roll, even if they will make things harder for us. With the rules out of the way, I'm ready to get this started. First, we need to pick a lifetime wish. For the sake of the challenge, I will use a very sophisticated randomizer that I strategically selected by typing in random picker on Google and picking the very first link that I found. I then copy and pasted a list of all 84 lifetime wishes and gave the wheel a spin. Pretty straightforward one to start with, actually. Now we need to pick some traits. I decided to break this down into picking at least one from each of the categories that the game breaks them into: mental, physical, social, and lifestyle. That will leave me with one more trait. For that, we will roll for a random category and then pick another trait from there to get 5. First up, mental. Then physical. Social. And lifestyle. Now to roll for a random category. So we roll for a second lifestyle trait. That means our Sim will be a brooding, childish, heavy sleeper, gatherer, kleptomaniac. Honestly, it could have been worse. With all the random parts picked, let's get in game and get started. This is Maya Nix. I don't think I need to tell you too much about her. You should already know what her personality is like. She is new to Sunset Valley, fresh-faced and optimistic for the future. She grew up an only child, had a bit of a rebellious stage as a teen, still kinda lives in the state of being a big kid herself, but she's always wanted a big family, and now that she's on her own, she's hoping that she can make that happen. Maya wasted no time getting herself settled, taking a trip to the grocery store so she could actually have something to eat later. This left her with only $2 in the bank, but she would cross that bridge when she got to it. Choosing not to think about her horrifying financial situation, she headed over to the park to see if there were any single Sims around. As time passed, some folks did start to trickle in, with Maya introducing herself to some eligible-looking bachelors. She got good chemistry with Jared Frio, so she asked him some standard interrogation questions, finding out about his career in culinary arts and that he is single. She marked him down as a potential partner and moved on to expand her horizons by greeting Styles McGraw and repeating her line of questionings for another successful introduction and potential partner. During the conversation, she rolled the wish to get married, and let's be real, seeing as this is The Sims, that's a high possibility before the end of the day. Having met all the suitable-looking Sims at the park, Maya moved on to the library. Inside, she met Layton Sekimoto, and more sparks flew. She asked him about his career and marital status right off the bat, which is a completely appropriate line of questioning when you first meet someone. And what was that? I clicked through it fast, but I know what I read. Layton is single and family-oriented? Alright, I think Maya may have found a good candidate for a long-term relationship potential. I didn't want to waste too much time finding a partner because I'm still playing with story progression on, and Sims will absolutely start marrying off and leave Maya with slim pickings on the partner department. They spent the next few hours in the same library corner where they met, and after some flirtatious exchanges, Maya stuck her foot in her mouth and started using the same lines too often, completely creeping him out. Failing her role for seduction, she went into damage control, building back up the conversation until Layton forgot about her mouth diarrhea and nailed it. I just immediately asked Layton to be Maya's boyfriend after this to secure their relationship from story progression interference and let the two lovebirds take a break from one another for a while. Maya collected seeds and flowers to get a little more stability with food and money, made herself some dinner, sold some of the flowers for some quick cash, and then I remembered that I wanted to test out a new mod that I had put into my game a bit ago. This is a mod that introduces utility bills into the game. I love the idea of this because making money can be extremely easy sometimes, so adding a bit of difficulty spike to progressing is something that I am all here for. I will leave a link to this mod in the description below if you're interested. With the utilities all on and working, Maya cleaned up and got a call from her new boo right before she was going to head to bed and ended the day a few steps closer to that goal of a happy family. The next day, Maya headed over to the park to meet up with Layton. Alright, if we're going to be serious about this, I think there's something that we have to do first. There we go. The two spent some time at the park, chatting, flirting, getting to know one another, and I won't bore you with too many details because I played for a while longer and then my game crashed because I still have not learned my lesson about The Sims 3 and I apparently love to punish myself, so I didn't save. Basically, a bunch of stuff happened, but we ended up right back at this point, so they hung out for a bit and then Layton went to work. This left Maya to do some scavenging around town, putting her gatherer trait to work, collecting what she could find, planting a little garden, and going to the gym that evening before going home for a quiet night. She got abducted by aliens. Man, I love The Sims. The next day, Maya wanted to hang out with Layton, but he was working, so she spent the day doing what she had done before. Going to the gym for a bit, then collecting stuff around town until Layton was free later. What do you mean you don't want to hang out? Look, I am trying to cultivate a beautiful life for you, and you are making this difficult, Layton. Maya's not a stalker, I swear. She just thought that she would turn up to Layton's place to give him a hello, you know? Just the casual hello. She got a little flirty watching the stars and asked to stay the night. Layton was all for it, giving Maya the chance to meet his mother and toddler son before they had a little woohoo fun in the shower. By the way, here's an unspoken rule that I set for myself this challenge. I would not use the option to try for a baby until they were married, but I would always choose the risky woohoo option until then, and what happens, happens. Okay? Cool. Back to Maya. Having gotten permission to stay the night, she hung out alone and was still kinda mad that Layton blew her off, so she stole his dresser and got herself a good night's sleep. The next morning, Maya jumped into mom mode with baby Sam, getting him some breakfast and morning snuggles. She's already showing the maternal instinct, guys. She can do this. She hung around the house with the family for most of the day, asking Layton out that night for a nice date to a movie and dinner at a restaurant. Then it was back to her place for a nightcap. The next day was pretty boring, with Maya and Layton playing house since he stayed over basically all day until he reset the next morning? Why the hell did that happen? Yeah, you know what, it's just too much for me to even care. But as Maya tended to her garden, yup, it seems like their house activities have resulted in the first of 5 babies that will have to be raised by our dashing damsel. Leighton invited Maya over to a house party later that day that he wasn't even at himself because he's such a great party host. So Maya spent the time getting to know Mama Yumi Sekimoto and baby Sam. The next day was really quiet, but Maya spent most of it collecting to make some cash to pay the bills she couldn't afford. Not to mention that with a baby on the way, she could use some help, so it was time to move Leighton in. It didn't seem fair to leave his mother and son behind. They kind of felt like a package deal, and even though I didn't want to deal with pets, I guess this dog is coming too. Welcome to the family. Moving into Maya's tiny house was going to make it hard with a new baby on the way, so the next day the family packed up and moved to a new apartment that would give them a bit more space. Sam, who had aged into a child before they moved in, and Grandma Sekimoto also got a makeover. All moved in, and adding the needed furniture for everyone and the new baby, the family funds were pretty light again, but they were going to have to make do. And that would have to be soon, because the very afternoon they moved in, Maya went into labor. After a few hours away at the hospital, a new baby boy was born. They named him Liam, and rolling the dice on his traits gave him absent-minded and brave. With the birth of her first child, Maya was starting to get moving on her lifetime wish. Now to have 4 more and raise them all to the teenage life stage. We still have a ways to go. Money was going to be an issue because the family would need more space the more that they continued to grow. Grandma Sekimoto was more than okay with babysitting, so that got rid of one expense. I bought an easel to make some extra cash because little Sam has the artistic trait and Grandma could paint while she was at home. Maya also went and got a part-time job at the grocery store. I was hesitant to make her get another career as there will be lifetime wishes around those and I would rather focus on them then. Later that night, the dog Rover aged up. I was hoping he'd be a small dog because of my limited space, but what kind of dog? Okay, look, this challenge is not about the dog. I'm just gonna change him and create a sim. What have I done? Maya and Leighton had both rolled the wish to get married, so I think that'll be the next big milestone that Maya works on as we try to save some cash. As the morning was getting started, a meteor shower? Now the house is on fire. Man, I love The Sims. When the fires were put out, there was a gigantic meteor left right out front, and it was valued at 2,000 simoleons. Hey, I'll take it. The big meteor made me have a change of heart though. Maya's a gatherer, and since I didn't want her to have a full career anyway, I had her switch to the collector career. I had her visit the local alchemy consignment to see if I could sell that space rock, but you don't have the option to. I did sell it right from her inventory for what it was worth, and it instantly bumped her 3 levels in the career. Not bad for a new job, but now that I knew the direction she'd head in, I was gonna have to start looking for some better collectibles soon. The family spent the rest of the day together at the local summer festival since it was leisure day and Sam didn't have school. Maya went home to tend to the new baby. She had amassed quite a few lifetime happiness points, so I invested them into some rewards. Most important being the fertility treatment, which increased the chance of having multiple babies per pregnancy. I normally don't take this reward, but with the normal lifespan, multiple babies at once could speed this lifetime wish progression along and not leave Maya the mother of a newborn when she becomes an elder. The next day, Maya had some breakfast with her future mother-in-law, even if she didn't know it yet, and the damn dog started eating the rug. Bad dog. Leighton went back to the gym to keep working on the skills for a promotion, so Maya took the opportunity to really get to know Mama Sekimoto. By the end of the day, Maya and Yumi were solid friends, and Maya asked her for her blessing to marry Leighton. Unsurprisingly, Yumi was thrilled about the idea, and now all Maya had to do was find the right moment to propose. The next day was baby Liam's birthday. They grow up so fast on normal lifespans. I didn't really have the space to throw a banger for my infant's birthday, so I was just gonna let him age up when the time came as normal. To kill some time, Maya and Leighton went to the gym together and put in a bit of workout time before it turned into a date at the local bistro. They ate and stood around getting drenched by the rain before going to see a movie. The night was going well, and Maya thought that it would be the perfect time to ask the big question. She got down on one knee and... Oh my god, I forgot that it was Liam's birthday. They are great parents, I swear. Look, he's too young to remember anyway. Don't think too much about it. Freshly engaged and with a new toddler in the house, the two lovebirds tucked their toddler into bed and celebrated their engagement with a bit of risky woohoo before hitting the hay to prepare for another day. Liam woke Sam up at 5 a.m., so he played the role of good big brother and got Liam in the high chair with some breakfast before feeding himself. Maya got up next and started the potty training process with Liam. Then she got herself out for the day to find some gyms and medals around town to try to make some money. And Leighton was off work, so he worked with Liam on how to talk before I spontaneously decided that they would get married today. I got the party settled and very quickly dressed up the location. Nothing fancy, just a little wedding at the park. Maya started greeting guests and Leighton would not come over, so I teleported him and Sam and his mom because ain't nobody got time for that. When Yumi showed up, she immediately went to argue with this guy. I guess they were dating and he cheated. She had the betrayed moodlet, so Mama was not in a good mood. Spicy drama aside, Maya and Leighton got married with their growling stomachs thinking about that wedding cake and their crying toddler simultaneously irritating every party guest at once. Leighton took Maya's last name as Nix and they enjoyed some invisible wedding cake as Liam wailed to be taken home. They are good parents, I swear. After finishing their cake, they took the baby home so he could get some sleep, and his cries became so loud, even Sam, who ditched the wedding much earlier, was woken up as soon as they walked on the lot. Now officially married, I could lift my self-imposed rule and actually do a try for a baby, so... We all know what that sound means. Another bebe's on the way. The next morning, Maya had a bit of morning sickness, but she still managed to have a good breakfast with her new mom and husband. She even got some time in teaching Liam to talk before she left to go to the alchemy shop later that afternoon. She had collected a bunch of stones, and this time, instead of selling them directly, she spent some time annoying everyone in the area by cutting them in a very loud machine. She listed all the stones and dust with the consignment clerk and crossed her fingers for a decent influx of cash. She was already tired of living in that tiny apartment, but their funds were not ready for a move yet. Maya came home to make a nice meal for her family. Things had been going so well lately, it seemed like nothing could bring her mood down. Oh, come on, we were just saying how we need to save money. Accidental fires aside, the family went to sleep, and later that night, Maya found out that she was pregnant. The next day was Sam's birthday, though, and also a Saturday. So after a nice breakfast and a relaxing morning around the apartment, the whole family made their way over to the fall festival to have some fun. They enjoyed some fresh air and got some concession food. Ignoring the possessed toddler, it was time for Sam to age up. We got to pick a trait and no sense of humor. Oh, that poor kid. With Sam turning into a teen, it actually counted for Leighton's lifetime wish, which is also surrounded by family, by the way. Happy coincidence, I suppose. It didn't count for Maya's though, because she technically didn't raise him from a baby, so she still had 5 children to raise. The next day was quiet, but nothing exciting happened. The normal routine until that night. Grandma Yumi Sekimoto reached the end of her lifespan and died of old age. 'Tis a fate we will all face someday, Yumi. The sad timing actually worked out with Maya going into labor that night, so it was off to the hospital. For some unexplained reason, Leighton took their toddler with him. I don't know why, but they had questionable parenting decisions up until now, so okay, I guess. The baby was born as soon as Maya walked through the door because it had taken so long to get there. It was a baby girl, and it seemed fitting to name her Yumi in honor of her very recently departed grandmother. I rolled for her traits, and she was disciplined and loves the heat. Unfortunately, even with my fertility treatment prep, there was only one baby, so we would just have to try harder next time. Of course, this wouldn't be The Sims without some weird glitches. Maya wouldn't go into the house after they got back on the lot. I told her to put the baby to sleep and she walked off into the night, sinking slowly into the ground. I wasn't able to cancel her actions or anything either, so I just had to let this play out like she was the thing from It Follows until she just popped back up to the surface and went home like nothing happened. With a new baby and no grandma for the extra set of hands, Layton and Maya had to get on the parenting game. Maya stayed home with the little one since she no longer had Grandma Yumi to babysit while she collected. Seeing that her income may slow a bit without being able to explore, she spent some time training the dog Rover to hunt. Layton also got a promotion at work, so they at least had a steady few $1,000 to keep them stable, even if it wouldn't be enough for a new house yet. I still had a lifetime wish to fulfill though, so that night to celebrate his promotion, Maya and Layton made a baby. I wanted to put in a conscious effort to increase the chances of multiples this time, so I had Maya watch some kids' TV while Layton got little Liam ready for the day. I realized I had amassed a bit more lifetime happiness points, so I spent some on useful things for Layton, including getting him the fertility treatment too. I don't know how many pregnancies we may have to do after this one, but it couldn't hurt. I still wanted to move the family into a bigger home, but the money situation was not changing much. I remembered that Maya had the kleptomaniac trait, so I thought that I might go to some of the richest folks that she knew and borrow some of their things. Unfortunately, kleptomaniac is one of the traits that I don't play with enough, so I had no idea how to get her to steal, and I just ended up making her go home. That night, she realized that she was pregnant again, and the family got ready to expand once more. I had also gotten lucky with a random rocks and gem event triggering on the lot, so the next day Maya would be able to get some gems to sell. If you're wondering why stuff like this happens from time to time, I'm playing with a mod that allows random events to occur. I think it can make things interesting, and it's been really fun so far. I'll leave the link to that one in the description as well. Before the day was over, the gem sold for nearly 7,000 simoleons. Holy smokes, is this a hack? Am I hacking right now? All I know is that we need more gems like that if we are going to afford a new place. It also turned out to be Liam's birthday, and with him aging into a child and another baby on the way, it would be nice to have it a little easier by Liam being able to help take care of himself. Now that he was a child and Maya was pregnant again, we were still making small wins towards that lifetime reward. I didn't have too many plans today because Maya should be giving birth any time now. Layton went out for a run and the boys went to the festival. Sam introduced himself to some other teens in town, and Liam explored the haunted house and came back home a ghost. Luckily, it was only temporary. For a second, I thought I already screwed up and he somehow died. I would actually be shocked if I couldn't even get the first child to a teen. Apparently, it was also Yumi's birthday, so she aged into a toddler. And later that night, Maya went into labor. Time to see if the multiples would work out. She and Layton rushed down to the hospital without the toddler this time and ended up with a boy, Michael, who is absent-minded and light sleeper. A girl, Michelle, neurotic and perceptive. And another boy, Morgan, loves the outdoors and a loner. Triplets. I think it worked this time. It was actually perfect because with the birth of the triplets, technically Maya had 5 children now. She only needed to raise them to be teenagers. With 3 newborns, a toddler, a child, and a cranky teen in a 3-bedroom apartment, the family really had their work cut out for them. The next day was Layton's birthday, and he was finally aging into an adult. To be honest, I was trying to get myself into a good routine, and Maya and Layton were feeling it too. They were struggling to get some good sleep, alternating with the triplets throughout the night and the entire day, and after a while they both just curled up on the bed for a nap. And Layton wants another child. I don't think that's happening. After he came home from his game that night, he aged into a full adult and then went right back into parent mode, pigtails and all. These screaming babies aren't going to take care of themselves. It was now winter, so Maya went out to collect what she could before the snow started covering up all the good collectibles. She made it a point to cut all the gems and list them at the consignment shop whenever she could get away from the apartment. This always turned out a good profit if she could find the right gems, so while it was slow, she normally made a few thousand simoleons at once when things sold. The next day was really quiet, with nothing too significant happening except the townsfolk protesting Yetis outside City Hall, so normal sim day. The day after that was a snow day for the kids, and the family seemed to be on a mission to break everything they owned. Maya broke the sink that morning, Layton clogged the toilet, the apartment was falling apart, and Maya was fixing things left and right. I did notice something interesting though, to cheese a bit of cash. Liam had a task to collect some gems and metals for school. In the map view, it would not only tag the gems and rocks, it would tell me exactly which ones were there. I could only see this when Liam was selected, but it didn't stop me from picking out some high-value stones, zooming in, and then switching to Maya to go collect it. It feels a bit cheesy, but I really wanted to push to make enough cash to at least be able to move, because the triplets were aging into toddlers, and the star of the show, Maya, was turning into a fully aged adult. With 4 toddlers in the home, the space limitation was really going to start to become a problem. So when the kids went off to school, Maya and Layton took the opportunity to spend a bit of savings they had to buy them their first house. I was actually curious how the game would move all the kids, but it just teleported everyone except Maya and one of the triplets for some reason. They were now the proud owners of a single-story ranch that had a bit more space for all their rambunctious toddlers to wreak havoc. It was time for Maya to get some more money in the savings though, so she headed out to the alchemy shop to cut the higher-priced gems that she had picked up. She got everything consigned and headed back to sleep in her new home for the first night. The next day was hectic, dealing with trying to teach and monitor 4 toddlers. Between feeding, teaching them to speak, and toys all over the floor, Maya and Layton had their hands full. She was still waiting on the sale of the gems she cut. That afternoon, we finally got the sale, and 14,000 simoleons. I swear collecting feels like hacking in this game. At least the family had a little cushion now, so they were able to sleep easy. Apparently, it was also Liam's birthday. If you couldn't tell, I did forget. Yes, he rolled the easily impressed trait, and with him aging into a teen, he was one of 5 children to complete Maya's lifetime wish. The next day was a snow day, so the boys were home to help out with their siblings. With the added assistance, Maya was able to sneak away to go to the consignment shop and list the palladium. At over 2,000 simoleons for each piece, they were hopefully going to get enough in savings to start planning for their next house upgrade. When the metal sold later that day for another whopping near 15K, the family was sitting at 30 grand and feeling pretty good. It was also Yumi's birthday, taking her one step closer to being a teen. She rolled the inappropriate trait, which is fitting, seeing as her namesake, Grandma Yumi, also had this trait. With her aging up, the toddler count dropped to 3, so the diaper days were nearly over. The next morning, the family enjoyed breakfast together, even though I don't think they would have a table big enough for everyone once the triplets grew up. The days after that were pretty routine, and the boys were being great big brothers and helping out their mom. Then it was Saturday. It was also Sam's birthday again, making him the first of the children to age into a young adult. He rolled the mean-spirited trait, so he basically aged into a grumpy, grouchy old artist. With Sam looking to pursue art, he could get a home career in painting, and he could help at home with the triplets. First he had to graduate though, so the next day the whole family was invited to the ceremony. Sam ended up graduating with the highest honors, and the family spent the rest of the day at home after that, per Sam's request, saying as he didn't like being outside anyway. The next day after that was a huge milestone because it was the triplets' birthday. I spent the day doing one final push to teach them all their skills, and that night they all aged up happy. Michael got the daredevil trait, Morgan got genius, and Michelle got virtuoso. With the triplets aged into children, the diaper days were finally behind them, and the fulfillment of Maya's lifetime wish was right within her grasp. At this point, things weren't too difficult to manage. It helps when the kids are older and I can direct them to do things on their own, and with Layton working steady and Maya making a nice chunk of money anytime I can manage to get the gem haul, the family was sitting comfortably with money. There is truthfully not much to show except for normal family life for a while. I thought since things were going so well that it was time to aim a little higher. I used some lifetime points with Layton to get one inheritance. We'll say it's from his mom, so that they could afford another house upgrade. Eventually the family did move into a new lot and got the chance to get some new stuff that they didn't have before, like a computer and an exercise equipment for Layton. The same day they moved into the new house was also Yumi's birthday. Since things were much better stress-wise and money-wise, they threw her a party and she aged up with a good sense of humor trait. It was also the dog's birthday. An old Rover turned into an elder pup. He didn't turn out too bad once he stopped eating my furniture. But Yumi, aging into a happy teen, was 2 of 5 towards Maya's lifetime wish. That meant when the triplets finally aged up, Maya could call her life fulfilled. Nothing really exciting happened for a while after that. The family lived their lives pretty much the same as they had until then. Layton got promoted to a superstar athlete and got a purple pimp suit, and the house spontaneously combusted into flames. After surviving the house fire, the family spent some time with each other by going to the spring festival and having some fun. A full day of egg hunting, dancing, chess, and grilled hot dogs was mostly a pre-celebration. That's because the next day was the triplets' birthday. The family had to throw a bash, so they reserved the same little park that Maya and Layton were married at for a party after school that day. The guests started showing up and the party started, but I wanted to wait until Layton got off work to blow out the candles. And once Layton made it, it was finally time to start the cakes. First was Michelle, because I clicked her portrait first. She got the brave trait. Then everyone got cake, but I had 2 more to age up, so I was afraid that I wouldn't get the chance. I had to wait until everyone finished their first cake slice, then it was Morgan's turn. He got bot fan. No, I hate that trait. Unstable, I can do that. I know I said I'd take what I get, but the kids are not really the challenge, Maya is, so it doesn't count for them. At this point, if you've been keeping count, Layton actually finished his lifetime wish. He and Maya shared the same wish, and Sam counted for Layton, but not Maya, so he could officially say he was fulfilled. I canceled the family's grab a slice interaction to age up Michael before the party ended. Unfortunately, it is hard to watch so many Sims, so his sister Michelle left and went home before I noticed. But he aged up and got hates the outdoors. No. Sam has that one covered already. Equestrian isn't bad, but meh. Technophobe. Sure, why not? And with that, Maya has completed her lifetime wish of being surrounded by family. And we have finished the first of 84 lifetime wishes in the game. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. The Sims is one of those games that I've been playing for so long, and this came about when I was playing the other day and I realized just how much of it I kind of just never experienced because of the way I like to play. I don't think this is gonna change my default way of playing, because that is one of the beauties of this game, being that there is no wrong way to play it. But I thought this would be a fun experience to have the chance to force myself out of my default and play some Sims with a different life direction than I would normally do, or with traits that I normally avoid. It's also a different style of video than the other Sims videos that I've done in the past, so I'm not sure how well it will be received. I've been experimenting with videos like this lately, and it kind of gives the ability to just play and then reflect like this after the fact. I don't think every video I do in the future will be this way, but it's a bit more relaxing way to go about the gameplay, but it does take longer for the video production after the fact, so maybe for this little series of side challenges. I have been getting back into The Sims lately though, that itch is back, so I'm hoping to try to get more stuff going again. I think I just have to get better at time management, so anyways, thank you again for watching, and if you like this video, please give it a like, or don't, that's up to you, but I do hope that you'll come back and join me for more of The Sims here on the channel. Thank you all. Bye bye.